Welcome to the 3Gs, the podcast where we dive into the world of fitness from three unique angles on three generations as we bridge the generational gap, explore the diverse perspectives, and unravel the secrets of staying fit. Welcome everybody to the 3Gs, the three generations of three personal trainers. Whoa. And as we go along, we're going to introduce ourselves. To my left,
Coach Kyle in the building. I'm the Zillennial bodybuilding lifestyle coach, bodybuilding enthusiast, and 8 years of fitness experience.
and to my right,
Coach Cisco, over 15 years of experience representing for the millennials. So hopefully you guys get to enjoy the ride that we're going to put you on in these next few minutes.
and in the middle, the baby boomer, 50 years of experience, 67. But today, what we're going to do on the podcast today, we're going to talk about nutrition. And who's going to head that off is our young buck, Kyle.
Coach K.
Yeah, man. So we want to start off by talking about what the biggest epidemic that we've been dealing with for the past 4 or 5 decades. What is it?
The biggest... Well, I don't
Not pandemic.
I was about to say, yeah.
Epidemic.
I was about to say, COVID?
No, epidemic.
I would go with in our industry, what we probably see the most is probably obesity.
Yes, sir.
There you go.
So, did some research, and the latest data indicate that 39.6% of U.S. adults are obese, and 31.6% are overweight. So it says, in general, 2/3 of the United States population is in that category, which is a lot. That's a lot. Why do you think that is?
Why do I think that is? Overweight and obesity. I will go with what I feel is the common answer, and you guys can disagree with me or not. Lack of movement and overeating.
I can agree with that.
Yes. We got an agreement. First agreement of the day.
Off to a good start. Let's
Off
go.
to a great start. Why can you agree with that, Mike?
What was that?
Why do you agree with that?
Well, movement it's important.
Yeah.
Okay, because that's what happens in the gym. Okay, because you're constantly moving, and your body is constantly using energy and burning fat. Okay, so that's important. All right, but as we know, nutrition is what? Carbs, fat, and protein, right?
Yeah.
So-
Should be carbs, fat, and protein.
Your intake has to be around equal of that and stuff. So, working out is gonna burn the fat, and protein is gonna build the muscle, and
So we lack those.
Carbs is gonna give you the energy
Yeah.
and stuff.
We lack movement. We lack proper nutrition,
Yeah.
which causes that epidemic. And I think honestly, like the progression of technology too has kind of made a big impact on that.
What do you mean by that?
Well, nowadays people aren't as active as they used to be back then without technology. Like when I was growing up, I was just running around the streets and stuff. Nowadays kids having their like phones at a very early age. They're more
when you were
stay
growing
at
up?
home. Yeah,
Like 10 years ago?
yeah.
Well, no, it's kind of true, though.
Late 90s, early 2000s. I was still definitely running around.
It's crazy because I think that's very true. It was one of those where I train clients that are over 60 years old, and they all tell me they never even knew what time to go home. You would just play, and you would go home
When the sun goes down.
when the sun goes down and
Exactly.
the street lights go on.
Yep.
When the street lights go
Yep.
on, mama wants you home.
100%.
I don't think kids are doing that today, and I think that's
Not as
progressing
much.
as we're getting older. And then another thing too. I mean, I think one thing is people are sitting down at work way too much. So I think about it like this: it's like we're a regular 9 to 5. That's 40 hours of sitting down. Nowadays too. I mean, some people are working 2 jobs.
Now, when you were saying
There's a lot more remote jobs now
There's
too,
a lot more
right?
remote
With
jobs
technology.
too. Yeah.
Were you saying older people they work? Or is that what you're saying? They work and they go home, or
Well, people like adults 18 and over, that are working adults.
I thought you were talking about like
Like
like my age.
No. Working adults. Working
okay.
adults. And we'll
All
go
right.
with
What
that.
was your childhood like, by the way?
Yeah, but I mean, tell us, what was your childhood like? Was it very similar to what I described, like maybe, playing
Like,
out?
were you just out in the streets running around? And then
No,
go,
no, I was always in the gym.
So you were
Okay,
always in the
yeah.
gym.
I was in the gym from the age of 14, 15.
right.
That's all I did.
What were you doing when you were 6 through 14?
How old?
6 years old to 14 years old.
6 years old to 14?
Yes.
Not video games, right?
No, definitely not.
Because there's
video.
really
Well,
not much technology back. That's the point that we're trying to talk
we
about.
we had Atari.
Okay, there you go. Yeah,
There
that's
you-
true. That's true.
Tetris and whatnot.
We-
But you probably got tired of that real
Well, no, we
quick.
played the ping thing, bing,
Yeah,
bing, bing.
yeah.
That was it, But
Exactly.
but we ride bikes and
Exactly.
stuff like that, and stuff.
Yes.
So I think all kids are active, growing up, because they're out there playing and stuff. But I think when you get to that age of 18, I think that's when it sets in that your body you're not exercising and because you're doing so many other things.
Yeah. Responsibilities start coming up and
Right.
whatnot. So that's why the activity in adults starts to come less and less. And that's why maybe prioritizing working out is the challenge that most adults have.
Yeah.
And then, of
Agreed.
course, and we can probably go off of going back to why people are obese. If they're not prioritizing working out, then they're probably not prioritizing what they're eating.
Exactly.
No, right? So they're probably eating what's more convenient. And what tends to be more convenient for a working adult?
Fast food.
Fast food. I was getting ready to say that too. Fast
Yep.
food. It definitely is.
Right.
It's one of the fastest way of taking care of eating. Okay, and I think a lot of adults now, are going to fast food,
Yeah.
and obviously, fast food is like the worst food you can eat.
Right. Why is that? Explain that.
Yeah,
in
explain
detail
that,
real
Mike.
quick,
Yeah, explain it.
Why?
Yeah.
Because a lot of chemicals are put in it, and
True.
cereal and stuff like that is put in the meat.
They add cereal to the meat.
Cereal to the
Yeah,
meat?
it's a cereal type that a lot of the burger places they do.
What cereal? Like cornflakes?
Well, not,
Like Fruit Loops? Like,
Like
what do you
Fruit
mean?
Loops? Fruity Pebbles?
That kind of sounds
not-
interesting. I
not
want to try
really,
that
but
out.
It's like flakes,
Like flakes?
Yeah, that they put into the meat.
Really?
Yeah, that's.
I think
something
what
that-
he's trying
I'm
to say,
surprised you
there's
guys-
added sugars in processed
Well, I'm
foods.
surprised you guys.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you guys didn't know that.
Well,
Processed food, exactly.
yeah.
Yes,
I think what
yeah.
you're trying to transition is processed food.
Yeah.
What was that?
You're trying to say it's processed food.
It's definitely it's processed
yeah.
food.
Which
It's-
has
yeah.
added sugars and all this stuff, preservatives to
It's
last
processed.
longer, taste better.
Well, what in the grocery store? What 95% of the food in there's processed?
Ooh, you think so?
I know so.
So 95% of the grocery store you feel is processed.
Yeah.
So
A lot
only
a lot
5% of the
stuff
store
in
is the
grocery
Whole
store
Foods
is
section?
processed food. And what they say is that a lot of the ingredients that are put in there are craving ingredients to make you want to eat more, make you want to eat, like for chips and stuff like that. They do that so you will eat more.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, sugars and carbs are definitely a lot more. They don't really satisfy the hunger. They make you crave more, eat more,
Right.
and whatnot.
They do. They
And I
do.
think a lot of individuals.
Now, being you guys are young, excuse me, both of you. What do you do?
What do I do?
Yeah, as far as your eating habits.
So me personally, my eating habits, I personally Monday through Friday work with a meal prep company.
I
And
see that. I see that.
And I
I
give them a
see that.
shout out, healthymealskitchen.com. Check them out if you're in Orange County. That's what I personally work with. I usually get a breakfast. No, I get a lunch and dinner from them for 5 days a week. And that helps me out Monday through Friday, just stay on track. Breakfast, I usually go oatmeal, cottage cheese, and black coffee.
Yeah, I see your meal prep when you come in there. You come in
Yeah.
there in front of me and you start eating.
Yeah, because it's simple for me, you know.
And,
I'm not-
and I've seen yours.
yeah, and that's one thing
Mine's
that
simple: steak and rice and asparagus.
see. That's why I like a meal prep company. They'll give you different varieties and whatnot, and it's simple. Me constantly on the go. I don't really have that much time. Just pop it in the microwave. 2-3 minutes, boom, eat it, and I'm solid.
Now, see, now we can sit here and now I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna tell the difference between your eating and Kay's eating and stuff.
Okay.
You never see me eat at the gym.
That's true. I never do see you eat
I
at the
don't.
gym.
That's true, huh?
I don't.
You definitely see us eat.
Yeah, I do. I do. I do. I see you eating. I see you eating, but you never see me eating.
That's true.
Because everything I eat, I try to make it as natural as possible, as organic as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And my wife cooks my meals.
Yes.
And I eat a lot of fruit, you know.
And I will agree that is the better way to do it. I'm gonna be very honest. I always tell a lot of people, I'm all like, if you can least microwave your food, the better. But like I'm telling you, so going back, why do we say it was more convenient for a lot of Americans? It was fast food.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I'm substituting fast food with meal preps. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that's a better option, for my lifestyle, for my way of being, because I'm constantly on the go. So I just need to look for a microwave and heat it up. So that's how I overcome the...
Wait, so like what's in your meal prep though? Does your meal prep container have just a burger in it?
No.
Fries? Like, what are we talking about here?
No. Like there'll be, whole foods, right?
Yeah,
it's healthy food.
Hey, that's your meal prep.
I'm trying to make it clear for the audience.
No,
so
so
they can
clear for the
understand where
audience.
we're going.
When you're working with a meal prep company, you can kind of ask what you're working for. So what a meal prep company will do for you is, I usually go with a high protein meals. Mm-hmm. And, mm-hmm. I send them my order and they'll give me, my chicken, my brown rice, and my veggies. It's usually the meal
process.
Yeah, the meal prep will take care of the guesswork for you. One thing I always say, us as coaches, we take the guesswork out of our clients when it comes to working out and things like that. But we need our help too. So I work with a meal prep company that will prep my food, take the guesswork out, and I will give them a order every week of what I'm looking for. It's like, hey, I can get steak, asparagus. It's usually a form of a protein, a form of a carbs with a veggie. So that's
really just a balanced meal.
Yeah,
which is what you want to aim for.
Yeah, so it's a great way to just kind of work with it and take the guesswork out. And if you're constantly on the go, I mean, it's crazy to see how, going back on technology, people are ordering through DoorDash, Uber Eats, and whatnot. And I would just say this is cheaper, because it's one of those things where it's convenient and you just got to take it home, keep it in the refrigerator, or anything like that.
Because it's about what, like probably $10 per meal most of the time.
Yeah. So it varies between $10 to $12.
Right. And most fast food meals are about what, maybe 15, a little bit more, depending on what you get.
Yeah, depending on what you get, and that's one thing too. I always tell a lot of people, I'm like, even if you get the cheap options of fast food, you're not giving yourself the proper nutrients. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's one of those where I think one of my clients told me, they're like, oh yeah, but you can get 2 sausage McMuffins for like $5 for breakfast. That's gonna fill me up. I'm like, yeah, okay. And it's like, look, that's
well, what are you pointing at me for? You ain't never seen me eat. What? That's crazy.
and so, but I always tell people about like it's the convenience, right? So one thing
what is your meal prep?
Like I said, chicken, steak, and either steak and rice and asparagus. If I get tired of steak, I'll swap it out with chicken. I keep mine pretty simple. If I get tired of rice, I'll do
you don't fast food?
Potatoes. I mean, here and there, I'm not gonna say I have a perfect diet, but 90% of the time I eat healthy. So my diet, I mean, I do actually meal prep, but not from a specific like a third party meal prepping company. So I do my own meal preps every Sunday.
Well, I do my own. I don't do my meal.
So what do you normally do on Sundays then? So like
Sundays is when I cook my meals for the week.
Okay.
And that's when I cook like my steaks in bulk, my rice or potatoes in bulk, and my asparagus in bulk. It's basically the same thing as you, except I do it for myself.
And then you portionize.
Because I like cooking.
Yeah, and that's why you portionize your container and then heat it up. And I think it's a great way to like just substitute fast foods.
Right.
But I do believe the best way is how Michael does it. Because I'm a firm believer, if you don't have to microwave your food, even better. Right?
Just eating fresh.
Yeah, eat it fresh.
Yeah.
And you say you go organic?
Well, I try to. Mm-hmm. I try to go organic. When I do use the microwave because I do bulk my meal prep. Yeah. Like, I eat a lot of beans, lentil beans and stuff, and I make a big pot. I put ground beef in it, and then I do that with ground beef and vegetables, and I try to keep my vegetables organic. But I try to make enough to go through the day and everything. And so I drink coffee in the morning. because that
How do you drink your coffee?
I drink it black, and sometimes I use agave. But what coffee does is it kind of like cleans out your system,
Hell yeah, it does.
you know. And so I try to drink 2 cups of coffee with collagen every two scoops.
That's smart.
And I try not if I eat in the morning, I eat oatmeal.
Hmm.
And then I normally I'll skip lunch, and then I'll have a really nice dinner. Usually it's chicken, steak, vegetables, beef, ground beef, stew. But I try to eat everything organic and natural.
That's awesome. See, and it sounds like all three of us, the first thing I kind of hear, I think all three of us prioritize protein. Well, whole foods, right, too. But
Over processed, yeah.
Yeah, whole foods over processed. But then I think when we dig deeper, I think all three of us prioritize proteins.
For sure. 100%.
Definitely. And I do eat bacon.
Oh,
you know,
bacon's
because
awesome.
it has the fat in it that.
I just had bacon this morning.
It just tastes good.
Bacon and
But-
eggs.
Yeah, you too. I had a bunch too.
Hey, man. Hell yeah.
I did. I had a bunch.
So then when it comes to prioritizing protein, though, what do you think is should be the recommended amount of protein you guys should take on a daily basis?
What we think or what science thinks?
Well, I'll say this.
general.
Basically, the daily recommendation off of what science says is that if you are intaking proteins, fats, and carbs, the daily recommended is 30% of your intake should be protein, 20% should be fat, and then 50% should be carbs, roughly around those numbers.
So
Right.
okay, protein. What's your percentage of protein you take in a day? You think?
So it's crazy. I know I'm taking 30% for sure, and then when I am actually tracking and leaning out, so me and my fiance, we do this whenever we're on our lean out phase. Like, all right, let's lose weight. We actually increase that to 35 to 40%.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a shit.
Yeah.
Wow. I take a lot.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
it's
I take
We're
a lot.
supposed to.
yeah. You're
you know?
supposed to.
I take a lot.
Because
I-
what does protein do?
Builds the
it builds
muscle.
Right, exactly.
So-
and why is building muscle important? Just to be
Right.
healthy?
So it keeps the fat off. It keeps
Right,
the body
exactly.
burning.
Muscle is
I take a lot. I would probably say in a day I probably would do about 60%.
That's really good. That's really high.
See, I don't go by percentages
do.
like that.
So-
I just go by like
Grams.
1 gram per body weight
Exactly.
is like normally the ideal range.
Yeah.
Most people who are in the obese or overweight category, they have pretty low protein intakes.
Oh,
and it's
very
very
low.
very carb heavy.
Yeah.
So it's crazy because
But
like
if you're gonna go carb heavy, you really got to work out.
Well, yeah.
You know, I mean,
That's given. And those people are normally sedentary.
those people
they
take a
don't
lot of
work
carbs.
out.
Those people that eat a lot of carbs and don't work out.
No, and I'm more with Kyle too. That's how me and my fiance, we would calculate our protein goal based off of our body weight. And
Right.
So if I'm usually walking around between 175 and 180, I fluctuate a lot, and I always try to maintain at least minimum 150 and whatnot.
Right.
And so with her, she would always be aiming for about 110 and things like that.
Now, it does vary a little bit too. I mean, that's obviously the most easiest way to look at it, but it kind of depends too on what your goal is, whether you're trying to gain weight or lose weight. It kind of changes in terms of maybe if you're trying to lose weight and you're a little bit heavier, let's say someone who's like 300 pounds, it's crazy to have someone eat about the same amount of their body weight, like 300 grams of protein, right? So what they say, if you're in a heavier range and you're trying to lose weight, you want to aim for your ideal body weight.
I've heard
Well,
that one.
I think if you're-
I believed in that
I don't.
one.
Right,
Yeah, that is.
exactly.
But I think as a power lifter, I think the protein and the carb fat thing is higher as a power lifter. Okay.
What do you mean by that?
Yeah, what do you mean by
I
that?
think they need to take more protein than the average person.
For sure. It's probably on the 1.2 range.
Right. And their fat should take more, and their carb should be before they train or before they work out, 24 hours before they work out.
Yeah, yeah.
so
but let's keep it for like the people who are just
we're talking. Yeah, we're talking the average people.
sedentary. Yeah, exactly. Not quite for powerlifting.
Right. But it's different for everybody.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And as a trainer, we have to know that.
Oh yeah.
If you look it up, the range really is 0.8 to 1.2
Right.
per body weight.
per body weight, yeah.
Yeah. you're on the lower end. Let's say if you're on a skinny person and you're trying to gain weight, you don't really need that much protein, is what they say, because you're getting a lot of nutrients from other macros. So you can get away with 0.8 to 1 gram per body weight. And then vice versa, like I said, if you're trying to lose weight and you're on the bigger side, you want your protein to be really high, because when you're trying to burn off the calories, there's more than likely that you might burn both fat and muscle. So you want to maintain as much muscle as you can, so you keep your protein very high.
That's that book smart. Man.
Well, no, it's also true. It's also book smart, but it's also it's facts. But it's funny because, like, you know, we're talking about like protein to body weight, like that's how much you should be aiming for. I believe like a study here in like 2020, they did on average how many grams per 1,000 calorie do you think the average American is taking? It just says average American, but it was
how many? What?
So how many grams per 1,000 calories? So think about it like that. So I know, right? It's just like
I got confused. With
so
that
say if it's all right. I'll just explain it instead.
Yeah, go away.
So the average American, the average American is intaking 40 grams per 1,000 calories. So that's how they kind of base it off. So think about it. If the person's maybe eating 2,000 calories a day, they're eating 80 grams of protein. If they're eating 3,000 calories a day, they're eating 120 grams of protein.
Okay.
That percentage, though, on caloric intake to macros, that is a 16% intake of protein.
Okay, now I get
So that's what it equates to. And that's what
which is half of what you were trying to get to.
Yeah.
Which is around 30%.
Yeah, 30% is usually the recommended. But it's just like one of those things where I feel when I've bumped into a lot of, you know, people that are struggling with both weight gain and weight loss, and I kind of like ask them, hey, what are you eating? It's the lack of protein is always one of the higher things that I see and that I find. It's like, hey, your body's lacking protein.
Right.
And so I think
so would you, and I'm going to ask this question to both of you. Would do you apply all this to seniors?
To seniors?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Like 50 to 60
Absolutely.
and 70. Do you
Yeah.
Do you apply that?
Yeah.
Is it at a different level?
Yeah, because I think with seniors
low-key need it more.
Yeah, because seniors, once you hit, you know, let's just even once you're after 50 years of age, the osteoporosis starts really kicking in. And
I say muscle starts to decline after 25. Really?
Yeah, that too. That's one of those. And so when muscle starts to decline, bones start to get weaker, and then bone density goes down, and osteoporosis goes up. Yeah. So when it comes to seniors, I do apply more of like, hey, we need to find a way how to uptake your protein.
Right. It definitely should be a priority.
I just actually had this happen last week. One of my clients, she's 71 years old. She went to go get, you know, bone density tests, and it wasn't the best. And I was like, yo, but everything's doing good. She's progressing in her workouts. She's lifting heavier. And then I was just asking her, I was like, well, what have you been eating? And a lot of her intakes is more like carb intakes and whatnot. And she's just like, I'm not a big meat eater. You know, I struggle eating fish. I struggle eating, it's just, it doesn't satisfy me. So one of the things is like, all right, well, let's work around that. How about, do you want to try adding a protein shake and things like that? And that's one thing too, you know,
supplements.
She's 71 years old. She's never even heard of, you know, doing a protein shake. She's like, isn't that going to make me fat? That was her first reply. Well, like, well, it's going to make you fat if you're not doing anything.
Yeah.
And so I told her, so I kind of gave her a recommendation, like, try this one out. And I'm like, and look, just mix it with almond milk. And if you want to make it into a smoothie, you know, you got different options, you know, but just go with one scoop. That's giving you at least 25 grams. That's 25 more grams than what you were normally intaking. Yeah. And whatnot. So I feel like going back to Kyle said, I think seniors need it even more.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Oh yeah, because I probably take more than both of you put together.
You think so?
Oh, I take a lot. You know, I do. I really take a lot. I take.
All right, let's put that to the test.
What?
How many grams a day you eat?
You think I take? Do I think I take?
How many? Yeah, how many grams?
Seriously?
Yeah.
Yeah, just take a ballpark
hey, you
guess.
should know this.
Yeah, take a ballpark.
Since you're saying that you might eat more than us.
I
know my number.
I know my number.
Exactly.
I know my number. Let's see. How many grams of protein do you think you're intaking?
You guys probably not gonna believe it.
Just say it. Just say it.
You sure?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah.
I'm probably over the 300 grams of protein a day.
Why you say probably?
No, I'm pretty sure I am, because when I take protein, I don't only take it in the morning.
Uh-huh.
I take it in the evening when I take my protein drink.
Okay.
And
Protein drink,
I usually go 2 scoops. And if my workout was really tough when I get home, I'll go 3 scoops. Okay. And then I'll put a lot of fruit, a lot of vegetables, a lot of spinach and stuff. And I drink a whole blender full, which is about 4 cups.
So how many scoops of protein are you taking a day?
I'm
What'd you
taking
think?
close to, I'd say anywhere
Just from the protein powder alone.
probably 5.
5, and that's
And I'm talking
roughly
full- I'm
scoops
talking
are about
full
20 to 25 grams.
Let's just go on the lower end. That's
20.
just 100 grams on protein powder. On supplements alone is what
Right.
you're
Probably,
taking.
Right,
probably
that's
and
100
then
grams.
I eat a lot of meat. A lot. I eat a lot of beans.
I'll give you 250.
No, I give myself over 300.
I'll give him a little over 200.
Yeah, I'll give
No, I
you,
go with 300 because I eat a lot of I eat a lot of beans. I eat a lot of beans. I eat a lot of chicken. I eat a lot of beef.
But I wouldn't disagree with you. I wouldn't doubt it because he does have some juicy
yeah, you know, because
20-inch pythons here
here's
too.
here's one thing why I'm not going to disagree with you as well too.
Go ahead.
Yeah, when Mike over here's all coming, he's like, man, I got bone on my shoulder.
Yeah, that's
I got bone on my shoulder. But you know what the doctor said? I was like, what did the doctor say?
Muscle.
The doctor said that I got a lot of muscle and a lot of muscle be holding my bones together. So I don't need no shot. I'm good.
It keeps his joints in place.
It keeps my joints in place.
Hey, I give him those pull-ups.
Yeah, so
yeah.
that's why I'm not going to disagree with you. It's
sure.
all like because I do feel like hey, I think the older.
But I wouldn't suggest that to a person that is my age.
No.
I'm not sitting there saying I would.
Maybe
but
they
I
want
do
to
believe
get
seniors
up to that point eventually.
I do believe seniors need to take protein.
For sure.
It's-
So we
it's a
can all
very important
agree
thing.
that protein should be a priority in your nutrition.
Yes,
Right.
Definitely.
Okay. Now, what would be the next thing to prioritize if we're trying to teach someone like how to be healthy and fit and change their lifestyle? Would you say more exercise for sure, right? Because they lack movement.
Yeah. I mean, get them into the habit.
I don't know. I might go a little different on that. I would work on your eating.
Still, okay.
Okay, what
I
else?
would try to get them away from processed food as much as possible.
Right. Yeah.
That would be my goal.
Okay.
Okay, and then they're going to be in the gym anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, when you do that, then I would focus on the workout. And that, well,
Wait,
I
are
actually
they? Are
do-
they
I
going to be in the
actually do
gym
that.
anyway?
What's that?
Are they going to be in the gym?
Yeah, that's what I mean. They're going to be in the gym anyway, right?
I don't know.
Well-
We're talking about like the people who are
Well,
obese and
this
overweight.
goes back to remember our last episode about our New Year's resolutions. It's just building habits.
Right.
So it's all about habit building.
Okay.
So
Uh-huh.
it's just one of those things where I feel like one habit at a time.
Right.
And things like
Yeah.
that. So I think if I would probably say food intake. If we can get protein and just give them a little bit more knowledge on that, get that habit down, then they'll start building up that habit into exercise, and then they can kind of coincide hand in hand. So I would probably go this actually, and incorporating why people are obese. I would go prioritize your protein intake, prioritize exercise, prioritize carbs, fats, and all that stuff. I think that would be a good way to just get the ball rolling. But everyone's different, like I said. I don't know. You made a face. I mean, what would you kind of prioritize?
I normally don't prioritize carbs and fats right away. I mean, like that's later on, especially like you said, it's baby steps first. So
Yeah.
when I tell people to focus on their diet, it's definitely the protein first, right? Maybe even just start with like portioning, even
Portion control?
right? Portion control. But when it comes to like exercise and movement, definitely.
So we basically all agree on nutrition, right?
Yeah. We all prioritize
Yeah,
protein.
for sure.
So,
And then depending on whatever the goal is, if you're
Right.
trying to gain weight, we can increase
But
certain
we'll
other things and
Right,
things like
right.
that.
So we're actually coming to the end of this episode, which I think was a good episode.
Yeah.
And I want to thank the listeners for tuning in.
Yep.
And on our next episode, it's going to be about intermittent fasting and
We'll
fasting.
continue nutrition as well.
What's that?
Because there's a lot more to talk about.
Oh
Nutrition.
yeah,
we just talked about protein.
We'll continue nutrition and everything, but let's just say before we go, a reminder from the 3 generations. Every generation has something to teach, and every perspective has value. Keep learning, keep growing, keep striving for your best self. We'll be back soon, right?
Thank you guys for listening. We'll catch you on the next episode.